family. This is Miss Seebeck. I'm coming to you today to tell you that I love you and I miss you. We are almost back in school. We have a countdown going. We only have 5 more days until I get to see your face, and I am so excited. I miss you and I wish you well. And today I have a character to talk to you about that you know and you love. We see him in our classroom all the time. This is Pete. And if you look on the front cover, you know, Pete's always doing something. He's rocking in his school shoes. He's always doing something silly. Pete has his magic sunglasses. We've read so many Pete stories. This time, Pete is with a friend and they have jack-o'-lanterns here, like the jack-o'-lantern Halloween buckets. I see a haunted house. I see bats. And they are dressed up in a costume. That holiday is called Halloween. The last time we read a story, we did an H for Halloween. This book is called Pete the Cat, Trick or Pete. Instead of trick or treat, trick or Pete. Those are rhyming words if you want to hit your R for rhyme. It's Halloween. Pete the cat is excited to go trick-or-treating in his superhero costume. I hope nothing too spooky happens, says Pete. You see his costume, and then this opens. That looks like a cat on a broom, like a witch's broom. Don't worry, says Pete's dad. We have our flashlights. Let's go trick-or-treating, says Pete. And there's the light post. And we lift it up. And you see a spider web and a spider, and it says, boo! That's spooky. Pete and his dad walk outside. The wind rustles the leaves. Pete sees something moving in the tree. If you look at that shadow, it's the shadow of an owl up in the tree. They arrive at a neighbor's house. Pete rings the bell. He hears a strange sound coming to the door. And the door says, trick or treat, welcome. It's just Callie, Pete says. She's not too spooky. So his friend is dressed up as a witch. Callie joins Pete and his dad trick-or-treating. At the next house, there's something in the yard. I see something here. It's a scarecrow. Whew, it's just a scarecrow, says Pete. That's not too spooky. Pete rings the doorbell. Trick or treat, say Pete and Callie. And this door says, Happy Halloween. If we open it, Pete says, awesome costume. Very spooky, but not too spooky. Thank you, says Mrs. Gold, the crossing guard. So he knows her from school. At the next house, there is something glowing on the steps. And you see those faces right there? I see some eyes, triangle nose, and mouth on the 3 faces. Cool, says Pete. Those are jack-o'-lanterns. Remember, when a pumpkin gets a face, it's a jack-o'-lantern. Callie rings the doorbell. Trick or treat, say Pete and Callie. And this door says, Happy Halloween. It's Pete's teacher. 1 piece of candy each, she says. And she looks like she's dressed up like a cowgirl. Suddenly, they hear something behind them. What was that? Asked Callie. And remember, Dad has the flashlight. It's the dog. He's in the bush. One last house, and then we'll go home, says Pete's dad. Pete rings the bell. Ding dong. Yikes, screams Pete. Don't be silly, Pete. It's just me, says Grandma. Callie and Pete get treats and hugs. So his grandma even dressed up as a ghost. Think about if your grandma dresses up. My grandma does not dress up for Halloween. Trick-or-treating wasn't too spooky at all. And this flap on our library book is open, but I'm holding it in place. You can look at them dressed up. And then if I move it, it was actually full of sweet surprises. And they get to share their candy on Halloween. So before I go, I want you to think about the word that I have written here. This word is cat, like Pete was a cat. I have the letter C-A-T for cat. The sound that this word makes is k-at, k-at. The C makes the k sound, the A makes the a sound, and the T makes the t sound. If I wanted a word that rhymed with cat, I want you to watch what I put on my head and see if you can think of a word that sounds like cat. If I put this on my head, what do you call this? It's a hat. Hat and cat are rhyming words. Hat and cat are rhyming words. So if I write hat on my paper, H-A-T, so I have at the top cat, under it I have H-A-T, hat. If I notice, these words have one letter that's different, but two letters are the same. The A and the T in cat are just like the A and the T in hat. We call these at families. So I want you, while you're at home, to think about some other words that would be in the at family. You might think of words like mat. You hear that at the end. These are at family words. So with the help of your grown-up, I want you got it, Ella, I want you to think of words that have the at ending and see if you can make you a rhyming list. It might also help if you want to draw pictures. You might draw a picture of a cat, a picture of a hat, a picture of a rat. I love you, friends, and I'll see you later.
It's like a popsicle, right, Mama?